The Lebanese state, that is Beirut, does nothing for the poor shit. It's done nothing. You go, if you had gone there, I didn't go there years ago, but I've been told, no schools, no paved roads, no clinics, no services, no job training programs. Hezbollah has organized the population and is providing services. That's what people want. It's not an ideological thing. When someone is giving you food, are you thinking this person is a Shia or he's a Sunni? You're not thinking like that. You're a hungry person. You want food. This is modernity. Yeah, this is one of the scourges of modernity. We cannot give talks now in public forum without these phones going off. It's very disconcerting and disruptive. So modernity is not always a bowl of cherries, as it were. We see the same kind of thing in Egypt. Why is the Akhwan? Why is the Brotherhood popular there? Because the state has collapsed. The state is run by corrupt pharaohs, crooks that don't care about the people, that have allegiances to London and Paris and New York and Washington. And as one fairly prosperous Lahori woman who's an architect told me, they treat us like a raya, like we're nothing, we're cattle. We don't exist for them. We're not on their radar screen. So that's why you have the rise of these Islamic formations in the total vacuum of secular democratic societies, even if they're not democratic. Let's say Mubarak, he's a straight-out dictator. What if he were a Democrat? It doesn't matter, because services are not getting to poor Egyptians. They're not getting the benefits of modernity and science and things. Hence, the Islamists come along, and with great credibility, and incidentally, they have a reputation in the Arab Middle East of not being corrupt, which is a great virtue, since the whole political landscape is awash with people on the take, bribe takers, and corruption. And they're able to come along and say, we're not only not corrupt, but we're also going to provide you with things you're not getting, that the state is not providing. So the answer to fight fundamentalism is not simply democracy and elections. The hell with those things. If you're hungry and you need a school, you need a clinic, if you have women dying in childbirth because there's no doctor in that village, that's what people want. And that can change society over time. But it requires a huge change in attitude, imagination, allocation of resources. And the Islamists have been very smart. They have looked at the scene. What is required? How are we going to come to political power? They identify problems. There are no jobs. There's no illiteracy. There's no, there are no health clinics. There are no schools. There are none of these things. We will provide them. And we'll also give them some political program as well, and maybe that will be the launching pad for political power.
I just quickly beg to differ with David. See, when we say democracy, and when he says that it's a fetish in the United States, now what David means is democracy as just the process of elections. Democracy is a much deeper concept. And I'm sorry, you cannot begin to work out a system, make it work, provide facilities for people, make it responsive unless you have democracy. And I repeat, it's not an electoral democracy. I'm not referring to American concept of democracy. Basically what Americans want, hold elections, bring in people who will do our bidding, and then let's move on. I mean, for example, what I find very offensive is that since elections have been held, Condi Rice, George W. Bush, Richard Boucher, everybody has been calling Pakistani politicians saying, well, we would like you to retain Musharraf. I mean, who the hell is the United States to tell us who should we have and who we shouldn't have? So what they prefer to do is have American, where I differ with David is that I see that democracy is essential, but that's the point of difference. But where I agree is that not the American version, which is basically have elections and have the people there. Look, when we talk about democracy, politics is the art of the possible. Democracy is about negotiating interests between different stakeholders. It requires, one of its requirements is accountability, one of its requirements is greater transparency. And once you begin to expose the society to that, then a number of things are gradually going to change. Let me make a very provocative statement. When we talk about modernity. When we conceptualize, when we think in terms of modernity, we define it in a certain way. Those lovely cell phones, the iPhones, the iPods, the technology part of it. Look, in Pakistani society, you have this middle class, young girls, who have voluntarily taken hijab. Not forcefully, they've taken hijab. Once you begin to talk to them, they claim that, of course, you begin to talk to them, and the first response would be, they'll say, it's written in the Quran, it's that and these, this or these, that and these. Scratch beneath the surface, talk to them why, and you begin to understand their answer. They are creating, through that hijab, they have tried to create greater space for themselves in that society. That is an act of modernity as well, which we do not want to own up to, because we find it in our imagination that is problematic. So what all I'm trying to say here is that yes, there are some bad customs, there are some good customs. What we need to do is that to have that discourse in the society, to allow it to be mature enough to be then discussed and to sort out what is good, what is bad, what needs to be kept and what needs to be gone.
Shanaz, question please.
Yes, question please. My question to both you, either one of you can say, is that when we're talking in modernity and you have